Rondo, Celtics and Lakers now, two-time champion. To me, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It doesn't matter in terms of if he actually gets it or not. That's just what he is to me. You spent some time around, just wasn't long, but you spent in terms of like actually on the same team. And
Right.
you said how he watched film. You guys watched film together. You guys understood the game together. He's just gone so underlooked over the last 2 years. I mean, he's averaged a couple of years ago. He averaged 11 assists in a season. We haven't talked about Rondo like Rondo in a long time.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I'm a big fan of Rondo. I mean, I've always always will be, just because how he competes. We had a lot of battles when I was in Orlando. He was in Boston. It was fun. After the game, we tap each other up, go our separate way. But when we got on the same team in New Orleans, it was just fun to see how he processed the game. It's fun to see how he worked and how he thought about things. Very interesting. Point of view to the game, and he got a bad rep. He got a bad rep for whatever reason, and that's when people started to kind of shy away from Rondo a little bit. But I still was a fan. I personally knew when he went to Dallas, when I was in that trade, I can just tell personality wise, it wasn't going to be a good fit. And I didn't even know him that well. I just knew who he was and how he ran his team. Just hearing how he demanded things from his team, I knew it wasn't going to be a good fit in Dallas. But I'm happy to see him, I guess, generate the type of positivity around him over the last few years in New Orleans, playoffs, 2 rounds. They beat the Trailblazers. He was a part of that.
Yeah, they smacked him.
They smacked him. He was a part of it. I mean, he's pretty much a part of all the game plans. You can see him on the bench. He's got the clipboard. He's got the iPad. He's doing things in the course of a game that a coach would do, and he's actually translating it to the court. Pulls you to the side, tells you what he sees, and you respect it because you know how smart he is as a player, but more importantly, how much he studies the game. He's definitely a student in the game, and to me, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, how do you not? And to me, another thing to me is rings to me doesn't necessarily say you're a Hall of Famer, because there's a lot of guys out there with a lot of rings that aren't Hall of Famers. So if Rondo didn't have 2 rings,
you could have signed a deal with a team and played 10 minutes a game at the end of your career and got a ring. I mean, exactly. It doesn't define
who you are. But right, like I tell people, I don't have a ring doesn't define who I am as a player. I was a winner. I tried to win every game. But Rondo, he doesn't get enough credit. He's another guy that doesn't get enough credit because of what people have said about him on the negative side of things. And sometimes that negative is unfortunate. The negativity follows you and you become a label. But he's breaking that label. And I haven't seen, I was there for a half a year in New Orleans, and we had no issues. No outbursts. Whatever people said about him, I didn't see.
He's one of those guys. It's why I don't love analytics, because you're just saying what he is with the clipboard, with the iPad, understand the game plan. You don't think he's expressing that to Kuzma or any of the young guys? He's telling them, hey, watch, he's going to go right here. He's going to go left here. He's going to pull up that mid-range right there. That stuff I don't care what the numbers say. He could shoot 32% from the field. He's helping the guys around him. Hey, switch. He's telling them where to go. He's another coach on the floor. I don't think he gets enough credit for that either.
No.
And I'm glad that this, one, it being with the Lakers, and you got the Lakers and Celtics championship, I think that's going to help just kind of solidify. Again, it's a legacy or whatever, but it shows what he's done for some big stages and big franchises.
Absolutely.
The next one you mentioned is Dwight. We got to talk about Dwight. I mean, that, again, it's not like he wasn't Superman Dwight. I mean, he got a ring playing a role. And does that cement him as a player? No. He's what he was no matter what without the ring. I'm more curious your personal relationship with him and seeing, I guess, that was a tough series in 2009. You got hurt. You were playing hurt. You asked everybody if you should play. You were that kind of with him other star. And what was it like for you guys after that loss? I mean, he was a top 5 player in the world at that point. What was it like for you, for him after that loss?
He was on the verge of being the best player, top 2 best players in the league at that point. And, he's playing phenomenal for us and out of his mind and playing his role during that time at a high level. It was one of those things. It's like we're young. When you look at the landscape of a career, we kind of got there at a fast time. We got to the finals. It didn't take us 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take it. It was like, 5, 6 years, we got to the finals. Next year, we got to the conference finals. And the one thing that I remember Keon Dooling saying is he was, I don't even know when he said it, but he told us maybe a couple of years before, cherish the moment of being on a good team because you don't know when it's ever going to happen again. And looking back on it, like, that's kind of what we did. We cherished those moments. We worked to get back, and we did. We fell a little short the next year. We got back to the conference finals. And the one thing is, we were relevant for a long time together. And we were a team that people like, all right, here comes Orlando. We really got to play. We really got to buckle down. But afterwards, it just kind of fell apart for a few different reasons. And you can't point the finger at Dwight. He's going to get the blame. And normally when you're the best player on the team, you get the blame. So other things that happen that people don't know about.
Is that a player thing, coach, front office thing? I mean, it was a good thing you had going. Like you said, you were relevant for a long time.
It was a collective effort, if I can say that. You know what I'm saying? It was collective. Like, you can't, like, put it like this. LeBron didn't win the championship by himself.
Yeah.
That organization did a great job of doing everything they could. Dwight didn't mess up Orlando by himself. We all played a part in it. We all could have done something better, while we were there. Whatever the case, but we all could have done better. I don't have any regrets how things fell apart. Other than I still wish I could have finished my career there, because it's business, and a lot of weird things happen when business get involved, money, all that stuff. But I have the utmost respect for Dwight just because of who he is as a player. Like I said, we had some really great years, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy he deserves it. And before the season started, and they were talking about him signing with the Lakers, I got a ton of calls, a ton of emails, a ton of interview requests. And I think I did one interview. I said, basically, if he can accept the role and be who he is for that team, strong guy and rebounder, block shots, alter shots, the anchor of the defense, frustrate a guy like Jokic. That's what they signed him for. They signed him to do that, and he did that. He actually exceeded that role, in my opinion. People thought he was washed up. He's another guy who came back and showed people that mentally I'm ready, and physically I'm even more ready.
On a personal note, do you have any plans to send a text or give him a call? I mean, I know you guys still have a relationship.
I'll text a couple of those guys on that team. I just, I'm weird, man. Like, I'll wait a couple of weeks. I'll wait a month, just because I let it die down. It's never too late. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's whether it's tonight or in a month, those guys will get a text from me, Rondo, all those guys will get a text from me congratulating them.